Good morning and welcome to the Contrail Service Orchestrator demonstration for our SD-WAN webinar. This morning I'm going to be using two logins to Contrail Service Orchestrator. One is the Stream Networks admin side, and the other one is the Juniper demonstration site. I'm using the two because Juniper has a fully meshed worldwide network on their demonstration platform, but I can't go into some of the configuration details like I can on the Stream Networks. So we will be jumping between the two platforms. They're exactly the same, but that's just to give you an idea of what we're doing this morning. So we've just logged on to Contrail Service Orchestrator. And as an IT manager, this is the sort of view you would get when you first log into CSO. So this is a fully configurable dashboard with widgets attached, and as you can see, that we can see from this dashboard here, we've got a really good glance of what's going on our network in real time. So if you look at some of these widgets, we can see things like total tenant sites and with total alarms, so you can see what's critical or major or minor issues going on our network. We can see applications by volume, so what traffic is going across our network, by traffic type. We can see top IP users by session, so who's using the most on our network. I can see the sort of top applications by throughput, the top IP sources by volume. I can see device count, so how many devices I've got on my SD-WAN network, what sort of devices they are. As we went through on the previous SD-WAN presentation, obviously with, and one of the key differentiators I'll just reiterate about the Juniper SD-WAN platform is you can actually have a complete next generation firewall service attached to your SD-WAN. On the demonstration sites this morning, we're not actually using the next gen firewall, but you can see some of the widgets that are available if you take the next gen firewall service. So you can see things like your threat protection map, top firewall denials, so you can see your whole security suite from one dashboard. I can see things like top site switching links, so these are to do with the application quality of experience, so triggers that have triggered a switching link event. I can see things like top sites not meeting SLA, so these are just some of the widgets. If we click over here on a plus button, I can actually create a new dashboard, and you can see at the top you can literally just drag and drop these widgets. So each IT manager or IT operator that you have in your business can have their own log on to Contrail Service Orchestrator to see your own network, and they can literally just configure their own dashboard how they see fit. So it's a very handy tool for an IT manager just to get that quick glance on what's going on their network in real time from the main dashboard. If we just move over to some of the other sort of network administrator, network monitoring tools here, we can see under monitor the overview, I can see that we've got a full network topology in a graphical format, so where our actual network is located. We just scroll in a bit here, so you can see this is a fully mesh worldwide SD-WAN network that Juniper have put together as a demonstrator site. I can see actually we've got some issues here this morning on some of these devices. So it looks like their APAC hub has an issue. But as you scroll in, you can see your software overlay links, and you can see that where you're having potential issues on your network. So a green link shows you've got good connectivity, and obviously a red link shows there's an issue there. But you can see from this network topology map your entire network in real time. So another really useful tool for an IT manager or IT support to come in and actually see your network in real time. If we just scroll in and look at one of these sites here, so we can see US Site 1. We hover over US Site 1, and if I click on more information, so in this tab I'm actually looking at my spoke or my edge device in this SD-WAN network. This is US Site 1. I can see that it's an on-premise spoke, so it's got a site role of a spoke. So in a hub and spoke network, it's your very edge device, your customer premises equipment. I can see the location where it's actually physically located. I've got my contact details here. I can see the device name, the model, so this is a virtual SRX, a virtual Juniper SRX. I can see that my device state is provisioned, and I've got my device serial number here. So it just gives me a quick overview of where the site is located. I can see that any recent alarms, so this site has no recent major critical, minor or any alarms or alerts on it. If I click onto this WAN tab link here, this gives me a sort of an overview of our overlay and underlay technologies. So as we described earlier in the SD-WAN presentation, our overlay is our software overlay, our software control plane over our underlay network. And our underlay network, if we just have a quick click on the underlay tab. So our underlay is our physical network connectivity, and you can see here this is our device, our SRX, and our spoke role, and we have two physical WAN connections. One is a Ethernet direct internet access product connected on GE000, and the secondary we have actually an MPLS link which is connected on GE001. So these are our physical links, our WANs, our broadband, our Ethernet links, our MPLS, our underlay. And you can see here in the right hand side it says no local breakout enabled for this site. So just going back onto some of the presentation bits, obviously on an MPLS network, typically if you want internet access, you have it as a centralized breakout somewhere on the MPLS network. And this is probably one of the other key selling points of an SD-WAN network is you can still have the centralized breakout. So we can break out all of your internet traffic into our cloud network onto a virtual SRX, so all of your internet traffic traverses the wide area network and breaks out from a central point. Or the advantage of SD-WAN is you can actually break out some of your internet traffic locally, and this is all configurable from the Contrail Service Orchestrator SD-WAN platform. And in this instance, it may be more effective, for example, at one of your remote sites, your retail outlets, or whatever that site may be, to actually, internet browsing traffic to Google or BBC, for example. We're going to just want to break that out locally rather than bring that traffic completely across the wide area network to a central location. And it has its advantages of obviously keeping all of your dedicated private area network traffic across the SD-WAN and allowing you to break out those users locally, so not bringing unimportant web-based traffic across the corporate wide area network. And the advantages of SD-WAN is you can configure your local breakout policies from the Contrail Service Orchestrator. So instead of having to manage each individual spoke site individually, you can actually apply your policies wide across your spoke estate from the Contrail Service Orchestrator. So it's configuring it from one single pane of glass rather than having to individually worry about every spoke device that you've created a local breakout for. So it gives you flexibility in terms of how you configure that network. If we just quickly go back to the overlay network, so as we talked through the presentation this morning, our overlay is our software overlay, and you can see here actually this site this morning has a problem with the second hub, but as you can see, this gives us an overview of our overlay network. So these are two GRE tunnels, our software overlay, and US Site 1 has two connections, one to our primary hub, and I'll touch on the hubs again in a minute, and we've got a second GRE tunnel that appears to be down to our second hub. And hubs in an SD-WAN network, especially from our Juniper perspective, are really important in the application quality of experience or providing application performance across your network. So if we can imagine we've got another site up here, US Site 2 for example, and we're running a remote desktop service at that site. Well, the traffic between US Site 1 and US Site 2 for example traverses the hubs in our network, and the hub along with Contrail Service Orchestrator is very important in measuring the performance of your links to ensure your applications run smoothly across your network. So for example at US Site 2 we could have two connections into our SD-WAN network, and the hubs will be monitoring both connections at US Site 1 and both connections at US Site 2, and depending on the SLA set, they make the decision on where your traffic routes. So you could have a remote desktop server at US Site 2, and WAN link 1 at US Site 2 was having round trip time or jitter or packet loss, and it's the hub that is measuring both links at US Site 2 and both links at US Site 1, and it's the hub along with Contrail Service Orchestrator that makes the decisions on your application routing. So it has a benefit over the edge or spoke devices making that decision for you. We have two hubs, and with Stream Networks you can also have the option to have a secondary high availability hub. These are provisioned in what we call IPsec HA failover. So the hubs are diversely located in different geographic locations, and should you lose access to one of your hubs, all of your IPsec and GRE traffic basically automatically reroutes to the second hub on the network. So it's very important in terms of a failover. If we have a quick look at some of the stats that we've got here from our overlay network, we can see that we've got some throughput, 202 kilobits of throughput at the moment with our total traffic. You can see it's got some packet loss, 2%. We can see things like latency. I can see also like top applications that are going across this site and the link utilization. If we have a click down on one of these hubs here, US Hub 1, so you can see here actually Juniper have a script running on the demonstration portal, some link switch events that have happened. So Juniper just run this script continually, dropping traffic and bringing traffic back up via a different link. But you can see here at approximately 9 o'clock this morning, our application or our path steering has seen an issue with GRE tunnel going over our direct internet access link, and traffic has switched onto the secondary MPLS link at 9 o'clock. And you can see again at 10 o'clock, just before 10 o'clock, traffic is switched back over to the direct internet access link. We can see what's happening with traffic on our overlay network. from this tab here. Okay, so if we have a look at some of the other monitoring tools and what we get on the Contrail Service Orchestrator. So we'll have a quick look at application visibility. So this is a great tool for looking at the actual applications that are crossing your network, and we've got two views. The bubble view, I quite like this, but I also like the grid or car view we're going to have a look at shortly. So this is the applications that are traversing our network currently. If we click on one of them, Skype, so we can see that our top users that are using Skype at the moment, the number of sessions, how much bandwidth it's used. If I click on CNN, so I can see 10.108.10.2 is using a lot of traffic to CNN this morning. So it's just a quick overview of what traffic and application traffic is going across your network, and this can be very important. You know, if you see peaks and troughs, or you're trying to troubleshoot applications, you can quickly, from a graphical view, see what applications are traversing your network. If we have a quick look at the grid view, it gives us a bit more information. So it gives us all the top users by volume, top apps by volume, top categories, top characteristics, and sessions by risk. And I can actually see the entire traffic, the users, and the sessions and the bandwidth and the categories here from a complete grid view. So as I said, it's a very handy tool to have a look at what application traffic is going across your network. If we just have another quick look, again, same with application visibility, we can have a look at the user visibility. So what users are doing on our network, the same bubble view as I call it, and the grid view. So I can click on this user 10.108.10.2, and I can see a list of sessions and a list of traffic that this user is using in real time. It's a really handy tool. You've got problems with users, or you want to keep an eye on what users are doing on your network. Anyone connected to your SD-WAN network will come up on this Contrail Service Orchestrator user visibility view here. Again, we've got a grid view again, so we can see our top apps and our top users by volume. I can see all of the application traffic that these users are using on our network in real time. If we have a look at just going on to some of the, we talked about firewalling and next generation firewall. I don't believe that this demonstration site has got the live firewall and next gen traffic going through it, but we can see things like our traffic logs on our network. This just takes a bit of time to build, so you can see your whole entire traffic and sessions across your entire SD-WAN network from here. So it's just another, from a monitoring perspective, just an easy interface to come and see what traffic is going across your network, source ports, destination ports, and the traffic types. Security events, so we have a quick look. Security events, it may pull data off here. Yeah, so again, we can have a look at our security events. So we can see we've got some antivirus detected, and all of our traffic that's traversing the network from a security perspective. So if you take the next gen firewalling, you can get all of the intrusion protection service, the anti-spam and antivirus, and the content filtering statistics here. I'm not sure it will bring anything up on this demonstration site, but this is where you would see your entire next generation firewall infrastructure and the events associated with it. So we talked about some link switching events and application performance monitoring. So if we click on the link switch events, so this is just giving you an overview of the link switch events on the network, and I'll go into the application performance monitoring part a little bit in a little bit, but this gives us a view of what has happened on our network. So you can see today, January the 7th, 10 to 12 AM, I can see that we've got an SLA profile for Wikipedia, and there's been a link switch event. And when we talk about application performance monitoring, you've got path steering, but also application performance monitoring on SLAs. So we can set an SLA for our application traffic depending on packet loss, jitter and round trip time, and I can set a breach of an SLA on either just one of these events or all three of them. So you can see this morning we've had a link switch event because we've had a packet loss that's gone over 60% on a particular link. So we can see our Wikipedia traffic has been switched to an alternative link this morning because the packet loss on the primary link has errored over 60%. So we can just see from here any link switch events on application performance that's happened on our network. And if I just go into the configuration of the SD-WAN policies, and I might need to dip over to the Stream Networks portal shortly. As you can see here from our SD-WAN configuration, and obviously all the other configuration you can complete here, from firewalls, the unified threat management, NAT, all your security configuration can be done from these tabs. But if I look at the SD-WAN policies, so as we discussed, we have a path-based steering profile. So that is steering all traffic over a path depending on the performance of that path, or we can have an SLA-based steering profile based on applications. So we have a quick look at the SD-WAN SLA-based steering profiles first of all. So here is where we set our SLAs based steering profiles, so we can define what application or what traffic and what happens to it in the event one of our triggers or one of our SLAs is not met. So you can see here we've got a Wikipedia traffic. It's an internet type profile, and this is our SLA that we've set. So we've set an SLA that it should not breach 15%, 100 millisecond jitter, and a round trip time of 200 milliseconds. If I just log on to one of the Stream Networks demo sites, so our SLA-based steering profiles. So this is just a stream demo, but you can see how easy it is to administer and configure a new SLA based on the traffic or application that we have. So if we just give this the name RDP, okay, we can then enter our SLA configuration. So this is an RDP traffic across our network. I can say that, well, I don't want the packet loss on RDP to be less than 1% packet loss, round trip time 150 milliseconds, and I'm going to change that to 100 milliseconds, and jitter 30%. And I can select our SLA to do something with our traffic based on if either one of these metrics was not met or all three. So as you can see here, you've got does not meet one or more SLA, or does not meet all SLA parameters. So all of those parameters have to be breached for the SD-WAN policy to take place and to actually move your traffic to an alternative link. So this is where this is configured in here in terms of application SLAs. Just going back again to the earlier SD-WAN presentation, application QoE is, or app QoE is, uses a couple of protocols to decide on what happens with traffic. One is called App ID. And App ID actually identifies the type of application and protocol, and then it does advanced policy-based routing to decide where the traffic is routed on the breach of one of these SLA profiles. So this is just a quick tour of how the SLA-based steering profiles are set. I'll just close that for the moment. That's it for now. If we just go back to the SD-WAN, so I won't go through the path-based steering, but that's to steer traffic, entire traffic based on paths or links. Also just down here we've got our SD-WAN breakout profiles. So as we discussed earlier, we can have either local breakout or centralized breakout, or we can break out via services such as Zscaler. That's when your breakout profiles are configured to configure certain users or certain sites to break out centrally or locally. But if we just go to our SD-WAN policies, so this is where our we go back to the Juniper one. Well, SD-WAN policies. So this is where we set our SD-WAN policies to steer our traffic. And as you can see here, we've got the traffic, the application name, the source, the application, and the traffic steering profile that we're going to apply to that traffic. If I just quickly create or show you the SD-WAN policies and how they're configured. So I'm going to call this RDP traffic. So I'm going to add my site in here. So Office SRX2, my department. Well, I want to steer my sales traffic, my sales department traffic. I'm going to look for my application. Well, my application using the App ID protocol is RDP. Is that taking that there? Oh, yeah, it's taking the application. And then I can, reverting to my SLA based steering profiles, I can apply my SLA. I didn't save the remote desktop SLA, but I will just apply one of these here. So yeah, so that's that there. So that is how you basically apply your SD-WAN policies. And I can also choose to break out this traffic via the internet or a cloud scaler service. So that is how the SD-WAN policies are built. Okay, if we just have a quick look at some of the ZTP configuration. For ZTP, which is the Zero Touch Provisioning Services, is in the Resources and Devices tabs here. So here we can see a list of our devices that are connected to this SD-WAN network. This is the Stream Networks test site here. Let's have a look on the Juniper demonstration platform. So you can see here all of our devices that are attached. We can see our serial numbers. We can see the operational status. We can see a operating system version. We can see the status of the device. We can see actually some have critical alarms. Just move back to Stream Networks. You can see the management status. So actually this Office SRX1 here requires an upgrade to the software device. And these configuration and ZTP is all configured through the resources and templates that can be applied to devices that are set here. But yeah, when a device calls home for ZTP, so as we talked about in the previous SD-WAN presentation, the benefits of ZTP, instead of having to, and this is definitely now, we have this COVID pandemic, not wanting to send engineers out to sites, with ZTP allows you to ship routers directly to site with no configuration on them. You plug them in to the network and the router will call home and will appear in our devices admin portal here, stated as requiring provision. So you can come on to this device here, or our network team will come on here and provision those devices and or templates and upgrade operating systems from this one management interface. So that is a quick demonstration of some of the things that you can do on Contrail Service Orchestrator. I hope you enjoyed this morning's presentation, and if you have any further questions, we'll be taking them shortly. Thank you very much.